Welcome to the New York Outlook for Tuesday, the 30th of January 2024. Starting off with the economic calendar, we have some red folder USD news coming out at approximately 2 hours into the New York session. Once those news events do come in, we'll play the news release accordingly. Just based on how the PA is setting up, I'm not interested in taking any trades prior to this. However, if you are, it's fine if you do have any trades open or allow this news to trigger your trades. However, depending on what the news release actually is, I'd advise you to manage it according to what the news release suggests. Obviously, if it's a mix between the two, then perhaps it's worth keeping open. However, if it's clearly against your trade decisively, that is, then I wouldn't consider keeping that trade open. I'd probably try and close it or get out for at least break even. Having said all of that, I'll move on to the 4 hour and then we can discuss what happened essentially for this morning. So, in terms of narrative, there's still a reason to trade in both directions, but in terms of this morning, we pretty much just came down further as anticipated per my London outlook. However, there wasn't really an opportunity to get entered into the market. I did have this order set, and unfortunately, price just didn't retrace deep enough to enable me to get into this entry. What we can then subsequently see is that the last IRL piece before the target has been taken out. Remember, we're operating on the premise that this triangle will provide us sufficient reason to trade deeper into this 4H level without actually trading into the barrier that the 4H level possesses because new IRL was built. What we can evaluate is where did price actually tap into, and you can basically see that price tapped into this window of imbalance right here, which is fine. Unfortunately, that window of imbalance doesn't really interact with my discount fib levels. Of course, in the London session I wanted deeper retracement, but that didn't happen. We didn't even get to the 50%, so yeah, I guess it's just one of those things and we move on. So that's the limit order I did have set. That got removed the minute we took out the last IRL point before the target, because at this point we don't know, is price going to range or is it actually going to come down deeper into this 4H OB and take the ultimate target. However, having said all of that, now as we move into the New York session, essentially there's no point or there's no validity for longs at the moment, because this secondary leg remains valid until we actually reach this target, tap into a fresh unmitigated area of this 4H OB and reset the secondary leg. Once the secondary leg is reset, I'm looking for longs in the New York session. However, obviously what will happen is that New York will have to put in a New York low of the day, and because it's a New York low of the day, I need red folder news to support why this New York low of the day will hold. In which case I'll look to these two news releases. Obviously I want them to be decisive, so I want both these USD news releases to be negative, to suggest that the pound should trade to the upside. That's essentially my outlook. I'm looking for longs in the New York session. Shorts will be off the cards at least until tomorrow, and then yeah, I guess we'll chat for the end of day review. Have a good New York session. Yeah, cheers.